Okay, time for another tier list. I want to do the Sailor Moon tier list. So, this is from the comics, since I'm reading the comics and I like the comics more. So, I'm gonna get the ones that I don't like out of the way right away. Well, we don't need Naruto-chan. She's just kind of there at the beginning and doesn't really do anything. Even in the comics, she's kind of meh. I'm I'm not a big Jirukonia. I don't like her either. The Tiger's Eye, Cat's Eye group. Where are the other two of these idiots? Here. There's the other one. There's one more. Let's get the ones I don't like out of here. Right away. There's one more missing. Fisheye. Where's Fisheye? Here. Don't care about them. They're completely useless. They're plot devices to get the inners their next transformations, basically. Useless. Where are those other two idiots at? I have them on here. There were two more that were like a pair together in the dream arc. But whatever. Forget about them. Alright, so let's move on to my favorite characters. Let's see. Let's start with Uranus. Has to be number 1. Neptune gotta be number 2. And this is not because some Yuri thing. It's because I've always liked. I'm a fan of astronomy, and I like the planets, and Uranus and Neptune are my 2 favorite planets. So there. That's simple. And I like the fact that Uranus is both female and male, based on the situation. That gives her abilities that are not available to the other characters. I love Space Sword Blaster in the comics. It's just so good. So we'll leave it at that. Let's see. Queen Beryl. I like her as a villain. I do kind of like her as a villain. Queen Beryl's really good. Now keep in mind I'm still in the process of rereading the Dream arc. I haven't gotten to the Stars arc yet. So the Stars characters I'm probably not going to be as you know, the ones I remember I'll mention, but the ones that I don't remember, well, I'll just skip over them. Alright, so Queen Beryl I do like. She's a good villain in the Dark Moon, the Dark Kingdom arc. She's definitely the more interesting of the characters of the early arc enemies. Wise Man, he's nah, just no. The Black Moon, I don't like most of them. Especially in the comics, they die really quickly. So, I'm not a fan of her or him. I don't like, let's see, who else don't I like? Where's Prince Demando? Well, I do like Prince Demando a little bit. I think he, at the end of his arc, at the end of the Black Moon arc, I find it very interesting. I like what happens to him. I think it's, they wrote him in pretty well. And his brother, where's his brother at? His brother, he's just kind of there, so I'm not a huge fan of his. Let's see. Let's talk about the cats. I like all the cats, so I'll put them all in the same spot here. And the human forms too, because Luna and Artemis, and Diana all belong here. I like all of them. Luna's cute character. Artemis is really good. I like their human forms as well. They're really interesting characters, especially the first time you see Artemis's human form in the comics is really good. That scene is really, really interesting. Now, let's see. Let's do the servants of. Well, actually, let's do. Well, so in the comics, I think Tuxedo Common is a really good character. King and Dominion, I don't like him very much in the scenes that he's in. He's very helpful, but not that helpful. So I'm not a big fan of his in the comics. Of course, the story behind Prince and Dominion from the Silver Millennium, that arc, oh, what happens there is absolutely amazing. I love that. Actually, I'll make Beryl go higher because she was so good in that. Let's see. Let's continue with the Black Moon stuff. All the Black Moon characters are just kind of there in the comics, so they're basically fodder for the inners to kick around like whatever. So I'm not gonna really deal with them very much. They all die like really quickly, so let's see. Where are the other couple of them? Not here. That's Helenia. Where are they? Oh, here. There should be one more here. Whatever. Well, no, I think I got them. Yeah, I got all four sisters here. Actually, no. Koan isn't there. Koan, where are you? I can't find you. Well, when I find her, I'll find her. Then I'll just put her with the rest of them. Now let's talk about the inners. So, well, this should be Neo Queen Serenity, or this should be Queen Serenity, not Neo Queen Serenity. So Queen Serenity, she's just kind of there, but she does play a better role in the comics, especially later. So I'll put her there. For Princess Serenity, I think as a princess, she goes here, because I think that that whole arc at the end of the Silver Millennium is actually really, really, really good, and I put Endominion here, so she belongs right next to him, because they go together in that arc. Let's see. Let's talk about, so in the comics, I love Sailor Mars. The animated version, she doesn't get, she gets treated like another version of Venus and Jupiter, which I really don't like. And I've started to realize why a lot of people don't like her. But in the comics, I love Sailor Mars. There's just something about her that's so much better in the comics. I just like her so much more. Now, Venus, she's still basically the same character as the animated version, but I think that the Dream arc, which is the Dead Moon Circus arc, also, it's called the Dream arc in the comics, which is also the Sailor Moon Eternal movies. I think that her character in there is much better. So if it was just Venus by herself, I'd probably put her here, but I think the dream arc makes her a better character. Let's see. Next, where is Mercury? Mercury, where is Mercury at? I don't see Sailor Mercury here. Why is Sailor Mercury not here? I don't see Sailor Mercury. So, well, Sailor Mercury, I'd probably put her here because I'm not a big fan of Sailor Mercury. Here's Jupiter. So, Jupiter, I'm kind of indifferent to Jupiter in the series. I in the comics, she's nothing really that special. Oh, another thing that I like about Venus also is in the Dark Kingdom arc, she has the sword. I think that was really cool, and I think from that is where she gets her Venus Wing Chain Sword, which I think is really cool, and I like that attack a lot. So that's another reason I put her up there. Jupiter, kind of, I'm indifferent to Jupiter. Let's see. So, let's do. Chibi Chibi is just kind of there. But knowing who she is at the end is a completely different thing. So I'm just gonna shut up about that. She's just kind of there, but I think that arc, the Stars arc, is really, really good. So, actually, let's do, well, Snow Kaguya. I don't like as a baddie, but I think that particular part of the comics is really, really good. It's much better than the Sailor Moon S movie, especially because the Outers have more of a prominent role and they're not just kind of there. I really love that. Let's see. I don't have Master Pharaoh 90 there. Well, let's do the servants of King and Dominion, which are also the Dark Kingdom guys. I like them more than the Black Moon, and that's also because later they're still, their crystals are there, and Mamoru is looking at them and contacts them for advice and things like that. So they play a pretty prominent role, which I like. They don't just like die off and are not there anymore. This gives them more character development, so I like them much more in the comics. Let's see, let's see, who else shall we do? Tomoe. Let's see. Let's talk about Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is much better in the comics. I like her so much more. Yes, in the Dark Kingdom arc, she's still really ditzy and all this other stuff, but compared to the animated version, she grows up, she becomes more mature, she has a very interesting like character arc that goes from, Silver Millennium up till the end of the Stars arc, and she's a much better character in the comics. I like Sailor Moon in the comics. I can actually deal with her, instead of her not growing up and not, like developing into a better character. The animated version doesn't have her really grow up very much, even though she is growing up. The comic version does such a good job of developing her character. Beyond just like Tuxedo Kame and some kind of garbage that's in every single episode of the old TV series. There's a better connection between these two in the comics. Also, one other thing that Tuxedo Kama actually has an attack in the comics, so he's not just some like little kick puppy who shows up, throws a rose, and then disappears or gets beat up or something. He actually has a actual decent role, and he has an attack, so that's why he's better in the comics as well. Just to connect to my opinion on Sailor Moon about that. I don't remember the enemies very well from the Stars arc, so I'm gonna skip over them. Black Lady, I like Black Lady, and I think that she is an extremely interesting character. As much as I don't like Wise Man, and I think is a stupid character, I really like Black Lady. Let's see. Pluto. I haven't done Pluto and Saturn yet. Well, I'll do them later. Let's do the Deathbusters. So they have to be a set because they are a set. I like them because they actually give the Outers a run for their money, and they're actually quite interesting in that sense. The rest, I like Kaori Knight. She's actually a pretty interesting character, and the fact that she's there with the professor all the time is interesting. I'm kind of indifferent on Tomoe. He's a catalyst for a lot of things, but that's for Hotaru's development, not his own. So I'm not a big fan of his. Let's see, Yujiaru. She's kind of there. I'm not a big fan of her very much. Let's see, Beauty Yui. She fights Sailor Mercury. Nothing special about her. Mimeto. Nothing special about her really. Let's see. Then let's move along to Mistress 9. She's okay, but I think part of it is her role in the Deathbusters arc. Well, it's called Mugen in the comics. Mugen. I think that because she's connected to Hotaru and Sailor Saturn, it kind of she's a catalyst for things, so she's important. But do I think she's that great of a character? Not really. Now let's move along to Sailor Pluto. I love Sailor Pluto in the comics. She has much more. The fact she dies at the end of the Black Moon arc because she stops time, which is one of the worst taboos that she could ever do, but she does that to save Chibiusa. Giving her life like that. Well, of course, Neo Queen Serenity brings her back to life and makes her like reborn in the time with the Mugen arc. But I think that her character arc through the Black Moon arc is really good. I think after that she plays a prominent. Her role is a little bit more subdued after that, but I think she has one of the better character arcs out of the Outers. Saturn, Saturn's top tier. Saturn in the comics is so important. Not just the Deathbusters arc, but also the Mugen arc. She plays a very prominent role. She's there with Chibiusa. I just everything about Saturn is so much better in the comics. They really did her right. The original comics are much better with her. Helenia. She's actually a decent villain. because she's been waiting to get her revenge for a long time on the Silver Millennium, and that whole arc is really good. I don't like Judokonia very much. I do like Helenia more. Although Takuchi Naoko said she liked the animated version more because it's kind of like a Snow White or something like that kind of thing. So she liked the animated version more, but I prefer, I really like the comic version of her. Now the Starlights, they kind of have to go as a set because the Stars arc is it's a well, actually no. Before we go into the Stars arc, the what is it? All the Para Junjun in them, as enemies they're okay, but that's only because their role later is actually more important. What is it? Where's the other one? This picture's so small. I'll just put them there. So Juno, pink one. But she's not here. Anyway, but in this sense, I do like because they actually are the Sailor Senshi in the Stars arc. I do like these four in the Stars arc because they actually have a role. They play their role. They're minor characters in the main scheme of things, and I don't remember them actually using any attacks, but they did play an important role for Chibiusa and for the end of the Stars arc. So I like them more as they're in the Stars arc than I do in the Dream arc. Now, as for the Starlights, as I don't remember much of the other stuff right now, like all the minor characters and stuff from the Stars arc, because I haven't reread it yet. For like Starfighter, Star Healer, Star Maker, of course, Star Maker isn't here, only Healer and Fighter here. I do like them. But I kind of think of them in here, and their arc is really short. So they don't get a lot of airtime in the book, if you want to call it that. They're there, but they're not there soon after that. So it's kind of The princess that they're looking for, I really like her. Her arc is amazing. She is. She has such an important role to play with Sailor Moon in the Stars arc. I really like it. As a baddie, I think Sailor Galaxia is the best, especially in the comics. She is just I love her. She is so brutal, and this is what her arc specifically is what makes the last part of the Stars arc so dark, because she just doesn't care. I really, really like her, so that's where I'll end it here, because like Iron Mouse and all them I don't remember about, so I'm not gonna rate them, but this is basically what my tier list is gonna look like. Which of course the Outers, because I'm an Outer fan. Before, I wouldn't have had Mars up this high. I probably would have put her down here somewhere. But I think her arc in the comics are much better. Sailor Moon is a much better character in the comics. Pluto has a really good arc. Saturn is just OP. Galaxia is one of the best villains in any story period. So that's basically where I stand with them. And that's the end of this tier list. So I'm going to be making other tier lists just because I feel like doing it. So, see you in the next video.